Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 on the channel. Today we're going to be focusing on a smaller animal. So today, as you've seen in the thumbnail, we will be focusing on the red fox, one of the personal favourites of mine in this game, and I really wanted to do them justice. You can see that I've worked outside of recording to make the area look a bit nicer. I've also removed the prairie dog habitat for now. It just wasn't fitting with the theme that I wanted, and I know a lot of you enjoyed that video, and I do apologise, but you can understand how it just didn't fit to the way I wanted it to fit. So we got rid of that, and I wanted to have a more natural and more incorporated design, similar to the one that we have with the fruit bats on the other side. So you can see me here building the fence. The fence is built from African logs, one-way glass, which you can see me putting in now, and that will make up the majority of the viewing area for the foxes, which you'll see at the end of this episode, as always. And this fence, as you can tell, it didn't take me long to find a design I liked. It was just a pain to make it fit to the design, and obviously later on I broke the pathing that I had created, so there is quite a big gap in the end. Luckily it doesn't look that bad, and we were able to decorate it with a few plants, but in the end it all worked out. I just wanted to take a moment to say that this video probably wasn't what I was planning it to be. I do apologise. I had quite a bad thing happen to me yesterday, and it's affected how I want to record videos and how I am currently at the minute. I won't go into too much detail because I know you're here for the video and not necessarily here for me, but I just wanted to address that and say that content will be out as usual, but I apologise for my enthusiasm and for my, in some areas, slacking, which you can see in the video, as I struggle to find items to build with. I struggle to, I guess, find that creativity spark that we've seen on the channel in the last 2 episodes, and so on. I did want to get this video out to you, even though I'm not feeling my best, purely because I did promise you all that I would release another animal very soon after the release of the last episode, which was just scenery. I'm still apologetic to that. The video was published in order to do justice to the fruit bats, which I felt like me not being able to record them certainly hitched things on the road there, and I hope the last episode managed to fix that. Again, thank you so much for everyone who's enjoying the series so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying it too. I've had a few discrepancies along the way that would otherwise cause little to no issue, but really they're nothing. I have been working outside of recording to make sure that this zoo looks the best it can be, and in this episode I think we just find that, I suppose. So you can see that, back to the video, you can see that the fence is now being created. So you have that one-way glass, and then you have the new tropical wood, which I really like, on top, which you can colour to your own satisfaction, and it really works well, especially when you're using logs from another pack. And yeah, just fitting these together and then finding different ways of how to make sure that they stay together, I suppose, in a way that works for the zoo. So you can see that I've placed rocks at the sides of the fences, and they are the barriers, shall we say, to finish the fence off in a natural looking way. Then what you can see me building here is the sort of dormitories for the fox. I know that they have a den in their habitat later on when I place it in, and they will be able to use that to sleep in, to avoid the viewers of the zoo, for example. And I know they can use that one, but I also wanted to add in a small little building here that they could also go into, and you can assume that through the last few videos of this video, you can assume that the vets or the medical team would use it, because I've put those little stalls in where they can put the animal, such as if it's unwell or it's coping with something. So yeah, you can assume why this building would be here. And I also wanted to build this building in the way I did, so that I can incorporate it into the next habitat, which I want adjoining to the other side. I haven't built it yet, but you will see a staff path go up on the right hand side of this building, and I'm hoping that will go in between the two habitats, with a walkway in quotation marks that will work as if a normal or real zoo would. Currently I am playing around with the different ways of building. I couldn't find a style that I really wanted for this building. I know I wanted it to look zoo-y, should I say that? Zoo-y as in it worked in the habitat. It wasn't too big, it wasn't too small. It's perhaps a little bit too big for the foxes. I only included 4 of them, but there's always something we can do with it in the future if it doesn't work the way I want it to going forward. However, building it, I quite enjoyed it. I loved messing around with all the different ways that I could decorate a plasterboard, which is basically all this building is made out of. It's just plasterboard with those new tropical wood around the outside of it, just to make it fit together well. I do use this tropical wood, I believe, to build the fences. I do include some habitat fences on the left hand side, and I begin on the right hand side, and that's when I finalise the wanting of a staff path on that side. Ultimately, my enthusiasm wasn't there with this building. I wanted to get a video out to you. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to get a video out there, because I'm at the minute really enjoying producing these videos, and loving the way that you all react to them. Is really, really wholesome to see, and it pushes you on to wanting to make more, and I really, really like that. Again, what we're doing here is just repeating the design on the other side of the building, and I know that there is going to be some glass watch rooms there, so you can look into the foxes and then where they sleep, for example. And that will be done at the end of this video, I believe. Yeah, I kind of didn't have the will to finish this building off entirely. You can see me that I just throw in some habitat bedding into the bottom of it, and just sort of leave it in the dark there. when you watch the videos at the end of this video, you will see that it has been decorated and it has been done to how I wanted it. It's just in this video it was just recorded at a point where I didn't have the enthusiasm to produce what I wanted to produce, and I do apologise for that. But I still hope that you'll get the initial design of what I wanted to incorporate. So now you can see me going on to finding the red foxes in the habitat section, and being able to discover what I wanted to put into the design itself, and that's when the habitat cave came in. So that's where the foxes can go down to in their den, and then I began work on the surrounding fence. I did the building first because I didn't quite know what I wanted the fence to look like, and I know a lot of people out there struggle to find what they want their buildings to look like, even when they're built. And I find that starting a habitat halfway and then fixing the rest of it along the way can make a really nice looking habitat that is very incorporated into every bit, fits together. And I know it's a bit of a mismatchy way to work, but it's the way I work sometimes. It's not all the time that I work like this. It's just situational. A lot's happened in between that time, and again, this video was purely I wanted it to be better, shall I say, a bit longer, but around 20-23 minutes is a good length video in regards to YouTube, and I feel like you'll get out of it what you put into it. So the effort, even though it wasn't there during this video, I did put a lot of thought and a lot of attention to detail into this habitat, even if it was off camera. But I included majority of what I wanted to include on camera, because I know some of you watch these videos in order to spruce up your own designs, spruce up your own, or learn your own ways of how to design habitats and so on. So I wanted to incorporate majority of what I wanted to do and what I built myself in this video, so you can see that it wasn't just all done off camera and you didn't actually know what I was doing. Anyway, the habitat itself is quite small. It replaces the area of where the prairie dogs were, and I feel like having it in that almost triangular shape does actually work wonders. And the next habitat that will be adjacent on the right, which you can see me beginning to build the fence here that will hide the staff path in the middle of the two habitats, I feel like that will fill out the area a lot more and make it look nicer to look at. And yeah, so you can see me using they are the tropical wood pieces here to build a realistic looking fence. I decided that it was probably a bit too high for my liking, so I wanted to put it up against the other fence and just to see how big it needed to be. And obviously I had to raise it up above the rocks, so as to not intertwine them. I don't like clipping. I've never liked clipping. I apologize for my phone noise there. And yeah, so I wanted to make this fence quite real in a way. So I included those cladding pieces, which I believe are from the conservation pack. I love the conservation pack. It's probably one of my favourite packs going. But yeah, I wanted to incorporate them on an angle. As you see that any fence, especially here in the UK, will be at a cladded angle like this, and they will usually be joined together with a few flimsy nails that end up falling off in the slightest bit of wind, or mould to the point where the fence might as well just fall over. But I really, 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 really liked how this fence came together. I enjoy the way it looks, because it does look like a fence you would, put in your garden. It's perhaps a little bit too repetitive for my liking. I might go in and change a few colours, move a few boards around to make sure it's not as repetitive, not as brand new, as we are going for an older looking zoo. But ultimately, that is what the fence looks like, and it's just duplicated along the fence where we put the border of this habitat together. Obviously, the fence that's already there will get destroyed to make it more cohesive, to make it just a bit nicer to look at. Obviously, this habitat needed an entrance, and this is when I began work on the staff area. It will be a staff area, just not necessarily in this video. I chose not to work on it in this video without my attention span being there. It probably wouldn't be the best, so I included just a small door that the fence will wrap around in a minute. You can see me there where I broke the path into the habitat, and I didn't notice until I started placing the foliage down. I regret doing that. I liked how it was to start with, but I feel like we fixed it in the end with just a few pathing tricks. Wow, it's crazy that 17 minutes have passed already. We're coming towards the end of this video now. It wasn't too big of a build, and I hope you can understand my situation in what's going on in my personal life, and I am gonna still try and bring you content as and when I can. I really liked this habitat. Unlike the prairie dogs, which I know I wasn't happy with, and I know I probably wasn't going to keep them. This habitat I will certainly keep. I really like it. I spent quite a bit of time planning it, a lot of trial and error with this habitat, and I feel like in the end it did actually come together nicely. I feel like the work paid off that you put into it, as I said before. And yeah, so you can see me building the paneling around the door here. It is a usable door. The staff don't get stuck on the door itself. I really wish we could change the colour of those doors, but hey ho, I know we can't. I wish we could build our own as well, but it is what it is, and you just got to work with what we've got. And this fence actually was really nice. It's probably a bit high, probably a bit too high, but I guess if we include an animal on the other side that probably needs a bit of height, or a similar animal to the fox again, so the European badger, for example, which was what this episode was going to be. This episode was going to be the European badger, and I decided against it and went with the fox instead, because I felt the fox was a bit more enjoyable. So you can see me here rectifying the path. I did get it to go as far up as I could. I couldn't get it any further. You could see the struggle I was having to try and make it go any further, until I just decided that if I move the fence a little bit further, yeah, that'll do. That's how I would how I was going to fix my mistake that I made. Obviously, the habitat is, in its overall sense, complete, and now we're starting on the foliage, the water, and the decoration in the habitat. Originally was going to put water on the left hand side, that's why you can see the dip, but unfortunately I didn't like the look of it, and I preferred it on the right, where it's a bit further out. It's not the main centre for where anybody is going to walk up to it and see the foxes. I know that they're going to walk around the entire habitat itself to see the foxes, but at the end of the day, it works the way it should work, and I really, really like that. So you can see me here just putting in all the necessities that the foxes will need, and then beginning the foliage. Foliage is one of my favourite parts. If you watched the last episode where the whole hour and a half's work of foliage went into a 30-minute video, you'll tell that foliage is definitely something I feel strong for. And I feel like this game definitely comes forward in how it makes it look so realistic using the plants. I wanted to fill the areas out. It's quite a large habitat when it comes to small European foliage, so I wanted to fill it out with a few dead trees that, obviously from Planet Zoo itself. Usually I would use Caesar Creates' dead trees. However, I just didn't like the look of them in this European habitat, so I just incorporated these, which I feel like actually really work well. And the foxes can move underneath them and around them and on top of them, so it does actually work in regards to that. I did include these hanging plants to make it look like there is still something growing on this tree even though it's dead, so that actually looks quite nice, and that's something that I designed myself during the trials, and I really like that one. As of regards to why I didn't use that tree, I felt it blocked too much of the habitat from when you look at it. I know that a lot of Planet Zoo is looks and how it looks to the guests and to you as you can walk around the zoo, but personally I feel like if I put that tree in there, it would have distracted too much from the original. Again, we are coming up to the end of this episode quite rapidly, so I better stop talking. I really hope you've enjoyed again. Apologies for the lack of enthusiasm in this video. I've really enjoyed using the foxes, and I hope to see you in the next episode. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of this episode. I hope you've learnt something, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.